Badane Jai Shri Krishna, Satish Bhai, Vijay Bhai, Bada dear friends, thank you very much. I'm the last speaker, I hope. And I'm glad that we could see the variety of opportunities in renewable energy. We started with Mr. Popley, who talked about the policy, the global vision. We heard Mr. Mayur Madhwani as a corporate, how they become carbon neutral. We heard from Sneha how she, as a young entrepreneur, looked at the problem of villages and started looking for solutions for energizing them. So my story is a similar story. So basically, I'm going to talk more to target to our Lohana youngsters to show the opportunities that is available to you all to become entrepreneurs, becoming a solution provider. It's because not everyone is a corporate who can just use it for their captive consumption. So I'll just walk you very quickly through my presentation. Can I have the presentation, please? Can I have the presentation? Vaibhav? Sorry, do I get presentation or do I improvise? Hello. Can someone start my presentation? I had sent it to Vaibhav yesterday and he told me it's already in there. Fine. So, sorry, there is no presentation. So I will just tell you the whole story and share the vision. So just like Sneha said, for me, I studied in Germany and I was working for a very big company, one of the world's largest company in where the silicon was born, called Wakashimi. And in one of the chance meeting with Rajiv Gandhi, I went and told him what India needs to do. And you know, when you are young and successful, you think you have the success key and you can tell the Prime Minister what India needs to do. And to our surprise, he was very polite, very patient, and said, you know what, Deepak, I totally agree with you that whatever you tell me is true, but I need good people. And I said, sir, there is no dearth of good people in India. He said, no, it's not that. I need people who have gone out, who do not have that inferiority complex that West is the best. And you have studied here, worked here, you have done your master's in MIT. Why don't you come back? We need people like you. So that's the biggest ego massage a young couple can get, that your Prime Minister is invited you to come and help your country. So we came to India. Unfortunately, we could not work with him because by the time I came back, he had got into Buffer's problem. But we decided not to go back. And then, now that we had come to help India, we said, what can we do? And we were surprised and shocked to see that 50% of the Indian population cooked on open fire. I'm talking of 1985. And even today, 50% of the Indian population cooks on open fire. 3.2 million women and children die just because of the smoke in the kitchen. So the idea is, can we offer a solution? And then we found out that there was a box cooker technology in India where you could actually cook with a box cooker. But the problem was that though government was subsidizing it, only 1% of the Indian population was using it. So as a technocrat, we said, why is it? And we realized that people use cannot accept box cooker, because you cannot fry, cannot make chapati, it was too slow. So then I brought a technology called concentrator, where you have a parabolic dish like a dish antenna. And just like with magnifying glass, we can burn paper and wood, it just reflects all the light at one point, and because of concentration, you have high temperature. So you put the cooking vessel, and then you can now cook in it. You can put a pressure cooker, and in 30 minutes, just like with LPG, it can cook. So I said, great, now we have a technology, and now we can offer the solution. But I forgot. You know, I think this is very important, and this is why Lohana is very important, that entrepreneurship is required. So as a technocrat, I created a solution, but I forgot that it was not cost effective. It was costing 10,000 rupees at that time, and 10,000 rupees for a poor person is 3 months' salary. So poor man says, I don't need to go for solar cooker, I can continue cooking with wood. So I tried to emotionally blackmail the woman, saying, look, middle class and the rich, that you can afford it, why don't you become a role model? And one of the ladies very jokingly said, you know what, Deepak, you are a typical man, you all men sit in the comforts of your air-conditioned office, you are pushing us, the woman, into the sun. Why don't you bring the sun in the kitchen? I want to cook in the comfort of the kitchen. Just like you can cook, sit in your office and work, why can't I cook in my kitchen? And that idea said, wow, if I can do that, it can be a game changer. I went back to my inventor friend and he said, look, if you want to do that, accept a technology called Scheffler concentrator, where you can put the dish outside and it reflects the light through the small opening in the wall, and now you can cook in the comfort of the kitchen. So I brought the technology to India, commercialized it, and then became an entrepreneur. I said, okay, why can't I create my own company and offer it as a solution? So we started a company called Gadhia Solar. It was a small unit in Valsad where we started manufacturing, not very far from Satish Bhai's company. And then suddenly we realized that it's great, but it was always, with one dish you could cook for 100 people. So if you want to cook for 100 people, you have to go for midday meal program. So we piggybacked onto government program where we said, with one dish, you can cook 100, so you can put 2 dishes. And instead of supplying fuel to the school for cooking or midday meal, you can cook with solar. And one day we got a call from Brahma Kumari saying, we want to cook for thousands of people. So then I modified my technology and said, instead of bringing light in the kitchen, can you bring heat in the kitchen? And this is how the world's first solar steam cooking system was done, funded by German government with a technology transfer from Germany in the company where I was working, where we, instead of bringing heat in the kitchen, we bring steam in the kitchen. And that was a game changer. I had never had to look back. My company went on to become the world's biggest company. And you'll be happy to hear, just like she introduced me, we have installed system at Shirdi Temple, which cooks for 50,000 people every day. We have cooked at Brahma Kumari, we have cooked at Tirupati Temple, we started supplying to jail, we started supplying to hospitals, we started supplying to Indian Army, and we never looked back, and our company, as I said, became the world's biggest. And at one point, I thought I have done enough. I moved to Munisava Ashram, where I was a trustee, and I thought I had done enough of it. And actually, just to sort of bring a new technology, because all of a sudden, all the time when people talk of solar, and India has a great future, India has a great achievement, like as Populi Sab said, we have achieved, we have a 450 gigawatt target by 2030, out of which we have done already 200 gigawatt, but we still have a long way to go. So with solar, wind, but all the time when we think of solar, we think of only photovoltaic, which is a technology where you can directly hit the light and convert it into electricity. But the technology which I'm talking about is a thermal concentrator where you can actually produce heat. And 50% of the India energy goes into heating and cooling and not into electricity. So the idea was, how can we decarbonize? Because every Indian industry has now the target that they have to decarbonize, because every time you burn a fuel, whether it is wood, coal, LPG, or diesel, for 1 liter of diesel, you are producing 2.2 kilogram of CO2. And we know that CO2 is a culprit, it is the one which is causing global warming. So we started saying, now if you can, instead of using fuel, if you can produce steam, and all industries require steam for heating. So we started a technology from Australia, which is the Sunrise CSP, where instead of having many, many small dishes, we have one dish of 25-meter dia. It is doing 26.2 tons. Because it is 25-meter dia, it is like a 7-story building, and the whole dish moves along with the sun. And it reflects all the light at one point, and because of the concentration, the temperature is 1,700 degrees centigrade. And now because of that, we are able to produce high-pressure steam, and we can now run turbines. We can achieve 630 degrees centigrade and 565 degree at 160 bar. And because of that, you can run turbine. And then one day, where I am staying now in Munisava Ashram, we got a phone call, and Dr. Abdul Kalam said he wanted to come and visit us. And we thought someone was joking. Why would Dr. Abdul Kalam want to visit a small village, a small NGO which no one has heard of? You'll be surprised, this NGO, Munisava Ashram, was established by a Lohana lady called Anubin Thakkar. And it's a 1,000-acre campus having world-class cancer hospitals, schools, vocational training center. And then he thought someone was joking, but it was Abdul Kalam. He came, and we very proudly showed him this whole ashram runs on solar energy, biogas and all. So I showed him solar air conditioning, I showed him solar cooking, I showed him biogas, we showed him biogas bottling and dehydration and all. And Abdul Kalam said, you know what, Deepak, whatever you have done is great, but you have done it on donation. And I have got 650,000 villages, and I want each and every village to be like Munisava Ashram. So suddenly, our vision increased that instead of being a solution provider to industries or to individual households for cooking, can we create a technology which can be scaled up and not only help India, but the world over? So suddenly we realized that if we can convert Munisava Ashram into a model village, which is running totally on solar energy, biogas, also producing its own food. So we have 1,000 acres of organic farming, we have 600 cows, so we produce our own milk, A2 type milk. So we are into social care, healthcare, education. So now at Ashram, in the first phase, we are installing this 2 dish where we are doing 200-ton air conditioning. So you'll be surprised that it is possible to do cooling with heat without going through the compressor. Because normally whenever we see a compressor, air conditioning thing, there is a compressor, and compressor requires wear and tear part, and it has a life of 5-7 years. Here, there is a technology called VAM chiller, which is made by many companies like Thermex and Voltas and all, where they use the heat to do cooling. So I think there is no better way of using solar energy where you use the heat of the sun for cooling, because it's a perfect match. Just when you need cooling, there is a sun available, and you want cooling when there is a sun. So I think there's a great opportunity. So now what we do is we produce high pressure steam, run the turbine. So actually Mayur Madhwari showed us cogeneration. So what is cogeneration? Actually you produce the same thing, you produce steam, run turbine and get electricity. But instead of letting the heat coming out of the turbine being wasted, they use it for producing steam, and then they use it into the sugar factory for their processes. So in the same way, we produce high-pressure steam, run turbine, use the steam for hospital for sterilization, cooking, hot water for 2,000 residents, and then the condensate or low-pressure steam coming out is used for cooling. So it's called tri-generation. So just to give you a comparison, when you produce power from PV photovoltaic, you are able to convert only 20% of the energy into usable energy. The 80% is wasted. Whereas if you use solar concentration, you are able to use 94% because you are using 35% turbine efficiency, then you are using the heat in the steam, and then you are doing cooling. So I think India is the way forward, and this is where I want to appeal to our young Lohana youngsters. Get into solar energy, get into renewable energy, biogas, wind, whatever, because that's the future. It's a green economy, green jobs, but become green entrepreneurs. And in solar thermal energy, there are opportunities because it is tailor-made. If you do in photovoltaic business, you are just an integrator. You buy the panels from China, you bring the inverter from Japan, Germany, and cables from Korea and integrate. But if you do start doing solar thermal, you are able to create opportunities. So here you see a solar air conditioning plant. This is India's first 100-ton air conditioning, where we're using the heat of the sun. So here you see the Scheffler concentrator replacing the boiler. We are replacing 1,000 kilograms of wood every day to produce 100-ton cooling. Next. So, but the problem with Scheffler was that you required a lot of space. In villages, we had no problem, but when we go to industry, they say, oh, we don't have space. So instead of going horizontal, we go vertical now. So you see the big dish is a technology from Australia, which is a 25-meter dish. Next. So here you see it's a 25-meter dish, and it rotates along with the sun in both directions. Next. So again, as I told you, in the first phase, we are doing at our ashram process heating, where we do extraction of essential oil, cooking, sterilization, and then also space cooling. Next. Here we see the tri-generation, as I talked to you about, where we produce steam, high-pressure steam, run turbine, and then it is used for heating and cooling. Next. And the problem is, there are enough technical solutions, but how do we take it to the last mile? Dr. Abdul Kalam told me, you know what, Deepak? Technology is just a tool. If it doesn't go to the last mile, you have not really helped. Just like Gandhi used to say that till there is a last mile, last man does not wear a cloth, India is not happy. So we have done some village projects in Tirupati, where the whole village cooks on solar cooker. And this was done not by, so it's a hybrid system where you use solar cooker and biogas. So how did we manage to bring the technology to the last mile? Business model. So when you actually go and say to a poor man, buy a solar cooker, he says, no, I don't have the money. And I tried to emotionally blackmail them, saying, look, you know, your poor wife has to go to the forest to bring the wood, 30 kilograms and all. And he would say, you know what, Deepak, it's my wife, why are you worried? We are poor, we are accustomed. So we said, okay, they will never buy the cooker, but we can actually do a business model. So we have now brought a concept called, you pay from your profit, not from your you pay from your profit, not from your pocket. And now with that, we have microfinanced and created a lively project. So each and every solar cooker, we teach them how to make bread, biscuit, jalebi, gathia, pakora. And one day we got a phone call, Deepak, please come, my lady is missing the solar cooker. Next. And we saw a lady very smartly not using the solar cooker for cooking, but for ironing. So people are poor, but they are jugadi. They know how to survive, you know. So I think we need to trust them. Not everyone who is educated is clever. Even poor people who cannot read are clever. Next. So now instead of bringing wood in the village, when you go to a village, you see a village woman carrying either wood or water. Now they're carrying solar cooker. They come and say, do it yourself kit. We created self-help group and create livelihood and jobs. Next. So this is the Muniseva Ashram, the cancer hospital with 1 megawatt photovoltaic power plant. Everywhere you can see photovoltaic. In the front you see the big dish. Now there are going to be 2 dishes here doing 200-ton air conditioning. And in future we are going to do tri-generation. Next. So this is the big dish. Now you can see the whole dish and the steam coming out. It is condensing because we have not piped to the kitchen. Next. And again, we were invited by Bill Clinton to Hong Kong and given the award for the work we did. For us, the biggest award when Dr. Abdul Kalam called us and said, look, Deepak, we want to use your talent, your possibilities, your ashram to take it to the world. So I be proud, Lohana, with Muniseva Ashram, we can create a model which can go not only to 650,000 villages in India, but each and every poor country in the world where decentralized power, where power can be produced locally by local people, used by local people, repaired, operated, and benefit the local community. So I am thankful that we have a great opportunity here. I would invite all the youngsters to come to Muniseva Ashram. We have a technology training center where at present people from Africa have been coming to train. We have got a vocational training center. We would love to work with you, create entrepreneurs in different technology, from solar to biogas to Stirling engine to windmill and everything. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna.